President-elect has won a decisive election, popular vote, electoral college vote. The bottom line is the American people, with that kind of psychology of feeling better and more hopeful, they've got to understand that we have to roll up our sleeves to help our government be a better government and to help our people become a better nation. So that means the American people have to get with some sort of different program as well in the way they think, the way they act, and the way they behave towards one another.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. Look, we are not the enemy of our fellow citizens, and we've got to get back to that. And I think one of the important ways that we get back to that is by getting rid of the centralization of power in the federal government. Federalism was intended to be a sort of a pressure relief valve for the conflicts among American people. New York is very different than California, which is very different than Texas or Oklahoma. And we need to go back to a system that allows us to live differently within our own states and not have everything dictated by Washington, D.C. I think that'll allow people to get along a lot better.
Which brings up the Article 5 Convention of States. Talk to me about that. And does that still have value and meaning for such a time as this?
Yeah, I think it has more than ever. Look, Donald Trump, I believe, is going to do a lot of good things in Washington, D.C. The administration is going to be successful. But most of what he's going to do can be reversed in 5 minutes of the next Democrat administration. And so if we want to make those things permanent, if we want to do things like do away with the Department of Education or Energy or Health and Human Services, return those powers to the states. If we really do want to get term limits, I don't believe we're going to get those things from Washington, D.C. or a balanced budget amendment. It's going to take the American people stepping up and do that. It takes 34 states to call a convention of states. That's what our organization does. So far, we've had 19 states already do that. We're well past the halfway mark. We have a huge number of people going into the administration that are in support of this. J.D. Vance, Mike Huckabee, a mutual friend of ours, is a good friend of Convention of States, as is Pete Hegseth, Brooke Rollins going to Ag. Even Caroline Leavitt, the new press secretary, is a supporter of Convention of States. So I expect that we're going to see in the next few years a Convention of States get called, and we're going to impose restrictions on the federal government from outside.
So for people watching this, Mark, explain to them what the Article 5 of our Constitution really stipulates.
Yeah, Article 5 says that there are two ways to amend the Constitution. One is Congress can propose amendments, and we know Congress is never going to propose term limits on itself or a balanced budget or power restrictions on itself. That's just not human nature.